In Costa Rica, a team of scientists led by Dr. Michael Morbius arrives at a cave. When Morbius approaches the cave's entrance, he cuts his hand, and then holds it out to attract swarms of bats. Afterwards, the remaining men fled to the helicopter. As we watch Michael, Charlie Shotwell, suffer from a blood disease 25 years earlier in Greece, we see him under the care of the doctor Emil Nicholas. A second child who has the same disease is welcomed by the institution. Michael refers to him as Milo because the last kid they had was called that. After a few minutes of chat, Milo's machine malfunctions, and he passes out as a result. Using a spring from a ballpoint pen, Michael fixes Milo's machine. In reaction to this task, Nicholas expresses astonishment. Nicholas arranges for Morbius to attend medical school in New York while he concentrates on taking care for Milo. Afterward, Milo is taunted for his condition and kicked while he is lying down by other kids. Back in present times, Morbius rejects the Nobel Peace Prize in Sweden and continues his research. In the next scene, Anna, a young girl with the same condition as him, is being treated by him. As Morbius works with his girlfriend, Dr. Martine Bancroft, she believes he is making too many commitments to his career. Also, it is said that Milo is the benefactor of Morbius's project of mixing bat DNA with human blood. The bats have been recovered from the cave for the purpose of the project. His serum is tested on a lab rat, who appears to have died afterward. A moment later, Anna begins to have a seizure, but Morbius is able to stop her before she dies. In the lab, Martine sees the rat is alive and moving, which means Morbius' serum was successful. To continue his experiments on a ship in international waters, Morbius meets with Milo and Nicholas. Milo has lived with Nicholas since he was a child. Both Morbius and Milo have become like brothers, but Morbius urges Milo to help him when it's too late to do so. In the next stage of Morbius' experiment, Martine and other crew members board a ship, where the serum will be administered to him. Martine notices after the procedure that Morbius has fallen free from the straps on his chair by a surly crew member. The man is found crawling on the ceiling, and Morbius attacks him. As other mercenaries arrive, Morbius, now transformed into a vampire, attacks them all and drains their blood. The struggle knocks Martine unconscious, and when Morbius regains his humanity, he watches himself on CCTV cameras attacking the men. In the next scene, the crime scene is investigated by FBI agents Simon Stroud and Al Rodriguez. As a result of calling in a mayday, Morbius has fled, and Martine has been found alive. The incident also reaches Milo and Nicholas. In addition to continuing to study his new condition, Morbius consumes blood samples to satisfy his hunger. As he develops his new bat-like powers, flying, super speed and strength, faster reflexes, the bats in his lab also accept him as their boss. When Milo finds him just as he begins to relapse into his monstrous state, he helps him regain control. Since Morbius knows the consequences would be dangerous as a result when Morbius says he can't. When Milo discovers that Morbius's serum helped him cure his disease, Milo wants to get some of the serum, but Morbius refuses it, knowing its consequences. Afterward, Morbius visits Martine at the hospital to check on her. A vampire monster attacks and kills a nurse, but it isn't Morbius. The moment Morbius hears about this, Stroud and Rodriguez appear to question him. Morbius then attempts to flee away but is quickly apprehended and taken into custody. As Morbius is questioned by Stroud and Rodriguez, he is later visited by Milo. The moment Milo leaves his cane behind, Morbius realizes Milo took the serum for himself, and he actually killed the nurse. In the middle of the episode, Morbius transforms into a vampire and breaks out of the facility, then watches Milo become a vampire and murders a man on a newsstand. After being found, Milo attempts to convince Morbius to join him so that they can embrace their newly acquired powers. As he chases Milo, they both fly into the subway and crash in front of others. A police patrol shows up to arrest Milo, but he slaughters them all. A desperate attempt by Milo to capture Morbius fails, as he escapes through the tunnels. Martine is released from the hospital, and Morbius finds her and explains his condition to her, that how he must control it before he succumbs like Milo to his bloodlust. After discovering another lab run by counterfeiters, he scares them away and continues working on a compound to undo his vampirism. Despite being killed, Milo crosses paths with an aggressive guy at a nightclub. Later, he chases the man and his friends to kill them all down an alley. As he watches Morbius work with Martine and watch them kiss, he realizes Morbius has a weakness. When Stroud and Rodriguez view surveillance footage showing Milo's face, they realize that Morbius is not the person who killed the club goers. As soon as Nicholas hears this news, he goes to speak to Milo, But Milo says Nicholas always looked up to Morbius. As a result, he attacks him and leaves him gravely injured. Martine and Morbius meet one more time, but Morbius learns about Nicholas's death. In the moments before his death, he rushes to his side. Martine has been kidnapped by Milo, and Morbius is called later by Milo. Milo also critically injures her before Morbius reaches her. In the process of going after Milo, Martine allows him to take her blood, but he drops a small amount of his own blood into her mouth. In order to face Milo, Morbius becomes more powerful. He summons his bats and surrounds Milo so he can inject him with the compound and get close to him. When Milo is about to die, he remembers that Morbius put his name on him. As his brother dies, Morbius remains by his side. Morbius flies into the night, while Martine appears as if she has awoken as a vampire. The multiversal rift from Spider-Man: No Way Home opens up during the credits, and Adrian Toomes, Michael Keaton, ends up there. After finding his vulture suit on the streets, he locates Morbius. He tells Morbius that Spider-Man is involved in whatever is happening, and he hopes to get his help assemble a Sinister Six to go after him. So, this was the recap of Morbius, the latest film from Marvel. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Give thumbs and subscribe this channel for more content like this. Have any suggestions or any questions? Please let me know in the comments section. Have a good day and thanks for watching.